Hello and welcome to the Black Tower. I'm your host, your guide, your brother, Sorcerer Arm on a Stool. Alright, so it's been a while, but, here I am, gonna do the damn thing. My new chair. Oh, yeah. How about you? Love it. Love it. Alright, so if you have a copy, a handy dandy, Simon Necronomicon. Let's get to it. Okay. So, I've had a few emails from a few viewers, uh, kind of asking me details, questions about ritual. About order and, how to do certain things. And this was in part brought on by a particular email that I got. And it made me go to thinking, and I was like, well, I've got to redo some of my older videos where I was giving details about the time Necronomicon and the workings in it. Uh, Today I wanted to go over the four quarters, or the quarter callings, if you will, if that just happens to be your thing. So, to give you a basis and understanding of where I'm getting this, you're going to need this right here and turn to page 190. Now, on 190, it's got a seal of some being, I don't know. I'm trying to do this one handed. So, anyway, so right below the seal right there, it says, and there are four spirits of the spaces, and they come upon the wind, and they are, and blah, 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 more words, more words. Uh, but what's really important to garner from page 190 are the names of these beings and the description given to them and in which quarter. Now it says here, and the first comes from the north and is called Uster and has a human shape. So, turning to page 100 while keeping your place, you're going to run across what is known of the invocation of the four gates from the world between the spheres. Invocation of the north gate. So, it says, the I invoke, and then, comma, Silver Hunter. We're going to put the name of the being in between it. So, the I invoke, Ooster, Silver Hunter from the sacred city of Ur. Thee I call forth to guard this north place, the most holy mantle against the vicious warriors of flame from the principalities of Draw. Now, it says human shape. So how are we going to implement this? While facing the north and saying that the I invoke Ooster, visualize a human standing there. I don't care if it's a male. I don't care if it's female. I don't care what color it is. Human. Alright? Now, and then you flip back to page 190 again. And it says, and the second comes from the east and is called Sed, and has the shape of a bull, but with a human face, and is very mighty. So, in old Mesopotamian artwork, mostly out of Babylon, there were bodies of animals with a human king's face or head. Yeah, I got the idea. So, in the east, there's a gigantic bull with a human face. Now, it should have horns because horns are symbolic. It's very precise when I say a bull. A bull is always pictured with the horns in the old ways. And then going to page 101, it says Invocation of the Eastern Gate. The I invoke said, Mistress of the Rising Star. Well, see, it says Mistress, female bull, but with the horns. Now, any of you know anything about the bull's horns and symbolism? Its equation to the moon and so forth and so on might be able to garner certain secrets from this. But the I invoke said, once again, visualizing a giant bull with a human face. And because it says Mistress of the Rising Star, a queen's face, a female's face, but very comely and very nice to look upon, I would imagine. Now, going back to page 190 once again. And the third comes from the south and is called Lammas, and is of the shape of a lion, but with a human head, and governs those things of the flame and the burning wind. So, 101, invocation of the southern gate. Thee I invoke, Lamas, angel guardian against the Arulu. Huh. So, when you thee I invoke, Lamas, visualize a giant lion with a human head. Since the east was of feminine, try a masculine. That's one on this one. Also, I can't help but see the correlation between the Sphinx in Egypt with the body of a lion and the head of a human. It's kind of cool, huh? So anyway, not going to dig too deep into that one. I'll let each of you do as you will, think as you want. So anyway, back to 190. La 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 la. And the fourth comes from the west and is called Natig, and is of the shape of an eagle, but with a human body, having only the face and wings of an eagle with an eagle's claws. So you're going to have a human shape with an eagle head, eagle wings, and instead of hands, claws. Okay? And then on page 103, the invocation of the Western Gate, thee I invoke, Natig, spirit of the land of Mer Martu. So thee I invoke, Natig, visualize this human body with an eagle's head, eagle's wings, and eagle's claws as hands. And feet would probably be a good idea because, well, for myself, I visualize it as having the feet as having the claws of an eagle and the hands of a man. And the reason why I do this is because it sticks to the form that is a human form, but using animal traits. And because eagles use their feet to perch, therefore I automatically, on my own, I use the concept of their feet or claws instead of their hands. But now you can be all gangsta rebel if you want to. And, maybe the feet and the hands have claws. Completely up to you. You decide. What brings that image alive? What brings that name to life? Because, see, it's not just enough to say words. They've got to have particular meaning. Well, the interesting thing is that in high magic, they use what are known as elemental sphinxes. And they're just created images for the elementals or whatever. And I won't get too confusing. I won't get too in detail on this one. But you use kind of the same concept here. But in this one, they actually give you the forms that these beings take. Now, the way that I do it, okay, now you can do this any way you want to, but this is the way I do it. Okay, when I start in the north and I start my summoning of them and everything, I imagine there's an empty throne sitting in the corner that I'm facing. And that when I say thee I invoke and then give the name of the being and visualize most strongly the image of that being, I see it then coming from behind the throne, coming to stand in front of the throne and taking their seat. Because after I have done the invocation, the evocation or the conjuration, whatever you want to call it, of the four quarters, and by that I mean, okay, like if I started in the north and I do the conjuration or the evocation or whatever it's called of the being of Ooster, and I've read the words out of the book, I then say, take thy seat upon thy throne, stand guard, and stand witness to my rights. I then turn to the east, do the next one, thee I invoke, said of the eastern quarter. I see the form, walk from behind the throne, stand in front of the throne, facing me in the center. And as I do the invocation, conjuration, sits down, and I then say, take thy seat in the east, and stand guard, and witness to my rights. And I do this at all four of the quarters, and then I do the great conjuration of all four, which is the pinnacle above. But it's important to remember that not only are they of the four quarters, and then you're doing the one that's the pinnacle at the top, but you got to remember you're inside a double triangle, double pyramid. So there's a point straight down below you as well. So what I do is I not only, when I'm doing the conjuration of all four, I not only visualize the one above me, but I visualize the one deep below me as well. And this puts the bases of the two pyramids together. This makes it much more powerful, much stronger, because you're pulling from the underworld, the overworld, and you're bringing it here in the middle world. And you're working the magics from there. Now, this is just my suggestion, and this is also a little bit more of a guided understanding of how to do these types of rites. Now, I hope this was helpful, and I hope for those of you who had questions that this answered some of them. If you have any more, feel free to comment, email me, darkangelofthesun1010@gmail.com, and I'll be more than glad to get back with you. I respond rather quickly, usually within the same day or the very next day. It just depends on how busy I am and whether I've had time to do anything else. That being said and done, I wish each and every single one of you peace, blessings, and power. Till next time.